every emulator is the exact same thing with the same name. So the setup is going to be almost exactly the same for all of them. So the first thing you want to do is get WinRAR, and if you don't know what this is, you will. So it can extract files. So it can extract like all the files that the game might come in. Windows can do this, but you never know. You might need this. It makes it way easier. So the next thing you would do, I'm gonna use Dolphin as the example for this whole thing. So you would right click your screen and you would go to new in folder and just call it Dolphin Games. And then that's where you're gonna put all your games, and that's where you can extract game files to with WinRAR. So the next thing you can do is in every emulator there's gonna be a path selection. So I'll look for that now in here. You go to options, configuration, and then paths. And then you choose the folder that has all your games in them. And then the next thing you can do is change your themes. So you can go to options, configuration, interface, and then you can change what Dolphin looks like here. Like pick a color if you want to. And then every emulator lets you adjust the volume. You go to options, audio settings, and you can adjust the volume however you want. And one time the audio wasn't working for me, so I just changed this to QBEB, and that kind of fixed everything. So next, every emulator is going to have an option to change the speed of the emulation. You go to options, configuration, and then you go to, I forgot where it was. Oh, in general, and then the speed limit is here. You can change that to up to twice the speed of the emulation. Then every emulator is going to have the option where if you click off the window, the game still runs, it doesn't pause. You go to options, configuration, and then you go to, where do you go? Interface, pause on focus loss. So if you click off, it's gonna pause the game. I have that unchecked because sometimes you don't even have the window selected and you don't even know it. And you can still play the game. Next, every emulator has the option to change the aspect ratio. So to change the aspect ratio, you'd go to options, graphic settings, and then aspect ratio. So if you pick custom stretch, the game's gonna be deformed. And if you force it to 16:9 or do automatic, it's gonna look perfect. So another thing you can do is you can make the graphics look better. So you would go to enhancements, and then internal resolution, you can make it all the way up to 8K if your computer can handle that. And then another thing is every emulator is going to have the option where you can display the frames per second. So if you want to show the frames per second, you go to options, graphic settings, and then you toggle frames per second on and off. Every emulator is also going to have the option for you to set your controls however you want. So in Dolphin, that's just controllers. And then for GameCube, you can choose from the drop down menu what controller you want. Then you go to configure, and then you have to connect your controller, and then you can just click on A, and then whatever you want A to be, you just click that on your controller. And you can make different profiles. You can switch between different people, different controllers, or whatever you want. And then if you want to connect to Wiimote, to Dolphin, you just go on real Wiimote. You can hold down the 1 and 2 button at the same time, and it's gonna connect. And there's also an option for background inputs. Every emulator has the option to toggle background input on or off. So if you turn on background input when you don't have the window selected that the game is running in, you can still play the game. Another thing you can do is set hotkeys for your emulator. Every single emulator will let you choose hotkeys. You go to options, and you go to hotkey settings, and then you can press whatever button you want on your keyboard and make it do whatever you want in Dolphin. And then also another cool thing you can do is you can download people's save states from the internet and then just put the file wherever your emulator saves your save files for games. So if like you don't want to unlock every character in a video game, you can download a save file where someone unlocked every character and then put that in your saves and then choose it like you would any other save state you made. And that's another thing emulators have. They have save states, so you can save the game at any point. It doesn't matter where in the game it is. And then you can go back to that point at any time you want. And then when you press Alt and Enter at the same time, that will full screen any game on any emulator, and even on Steam. That's gonna full screen and window your games. And you can go into Task Manager and you can manage how the windows are set up, or you can just close any program from there. Thanks for watching.